I'm not going to sit down because I don't take orders from you, Mr. Novotny.
You have questions, you deserve answers. But why should I get a stiff neck talking to you?
Yeah, well, I don't think there's anything to joke about. That woman just walked out of here, accused you of murdering her husband. She implicated your nephew, the man my daughter's supposed to marry. This room is full of thugs carrying guns, and I don't like it. I don't like any of it. So, I don't feel like sitting down at your table for a nice, cozy little chat.
I have to say now that you're trying my patience. You're asking for answers, but I think you only want to hear the sound of your own voice.
No. I want to hear you tell me you're not guilty of all the things the FBI and the police say you're guilty of. I want to hear you say that she's wrong, that poor soul who thinks her husband's laying somewhere in the bottom of the East River.
I've already told you those things. My nephew's told...
Yeah, look. You've also told me my daughter's perfectly safe married to your nephew, that she'd live a life that was perfectly respectable, normal. Well, I don't happen to believe that either.
You've accepted my hospitality here under my own roof and in front of my friends and my family. But you offer me only insults.
I'm just speaking my mind, Mr. Novotny.
I hope you are going to reassess that, Mr. Ryan.
And do what? And do what? Back off? Like let it alone, pretend none of this ever happened? Well, I'm sorry, but where the safety of one of my kids is concerned, I don't back off.
I'll tell you what, why don't we go out in the park?
No, look, Frank. 5 minutes alone in the cold night air is not going to change any of this. He's not going to explain any of this away. And I'm going to change my mind about any of it. Maybe the best thing for me to do is get out of here and go home. Come on, lady.
Darling, I'm going to have to leave with your father. Stay where you are, everyone, please. Miss Novotny, I'm terribly sorry that the evening had to end this way.
Since we came with Maeve and Johnny, maybe we should be on our way, too.
I don't want to go, Roger.
Come on, Dee. Thank you for including us, Mr. Novotny. See you soon, Joe. Good, man. This will give you 2 less people to worry about.
Good night, everybody. I'm sorry we have to leave like this. It was really nice.
Thanks, Roger. Make sure they get home safe, okay?
Why do we have to go?
You okay?
No.
Come and sit down by me. I have some things I want to say to all of you.
Shame you weren't more hungry. The veal was lovely. All right. I think the time has come for us to have our discussion.
My affair with Dr. Cohen, you mean?
Well, if you're going to take that attitude, you're just going to make it harder on both of us.
It's your attitude, isn't it? You walk in here and find me clowning around and you accuse me of sexual misbehavior. I want explanation, Kimberly.
I suggest that you drop the sarcasm. And requesting an explanation is hardly the same thing as accusing you.
It certainly is. You see me with my hand on a man's back and you instantly assume that I'm going to take off my clothes right there. You just know I'm a little tramp, don't you?
No. I know that you are very young, inexperienced, and in a big hurry to be a grown-up. Beyond that, I know that you and I need to set some house rules if you're going to stay here with me.
Boy, you threaten well. It's absolutely elegant. But then so are you. So's everything about you. Except your imagination. What nasty little games do you think your little girl and Dr. Cohen played before you got home?
Now stop that, Kimberly. Don't you dare insult me. Don't you ever insult me.
Well, then don't you insult me either.
Kim, it's not a question of not trusting you.
It certainly is. Did you bother to find out that Seneca sent Dr. Cohen over here to check on me? No, you assumed I lured him here. Did you ask how I got him loose enough to do an audition scene with me? No, you assumed I was into sexual foreplay. I tickled him for 2 minutes, Mother, and that's all that happened.
Well, darling, if that is all that happened for you, then perhaps you should consider what could happen at your age. Now, maybe that's an area we have to explore.
I know about sex. I know.
Darling, reading about it and experiencing the situation are two entirely different things.
In my high school, they give out awards. Most likely to succeed, most popular, most handsome, best athlete. A boy named Gary Parks won all 4 of those last year. And he didn't date tramps. He dated me exclusively for 10 months.
Well, of course he did. Listen, I am not saying that you're promiscuous, and I certainly am not surprised that you're selective about your boyfriends. You deserve the cream of the crop. All I'm saying is that Adam Cohen is not a high school...
I'm not finished yet. Maybe you don't want to hear this.
I'm sorry, go on.
The whole time we were together, I was sleeping with him. I didn't get pregnant. Nobody has to get pregnant these days.
Did Nana know about it?
He behaved very well. She invited Gary to dinner every few weeks. Anyway, it's all over now. He went away to college, and I've come to New York to be an actress and live with my mother, who does not have to watch over me in any way. Okay? My love life has to be my own business.
Oh, no. No, not while you are under my roof.
You don't mean...
I mean that while you are here in New York, your love life will be very carefully supervised.
George, see that everybody has some more wine. Thomas, bring the coffee. Please have some more of this. You don't look so good.
Thank you. I want to say that I'm awfully sorry for what just happened here.
You don't have to say anything.
Well, I wish that I could apologize, but I'm afraid he meant every word that he said. What was he trying to do? Ruin this party?
Now, you know the answer to that, Siobhan.
What do you want Joe to do? Pull a gun so he finally had the proof that he was right?
Siobhan, there was nothing calculated about any of it. He is very worried, and he just couldn't keep the lid on anymore.
Johnny never has been able to keep his opinions about anything to himself.
Excuse me. Frank has the real point. Doll's worried. But then, and please, don't interpret this as criticism. So am I.
If you weren't, you'd have to be crazy. I know what's been said about me. You know what you've read and heard. I understand why Johnny's scared. That's why we're here this evening. Because I didn't want your mother and Johnny to feel bad. Incidentally, if I may say so, your mother is a very great lady. I regret that she's upset. I regret that you're all upset.
Could you tell us more about Pavel?
Well, you've heard most of it. He worked for me. Most recently as a warehouse supervisor for about 8 years. He was a horse. When he wanted to work, he could stay on his feet for days. His choice, not mine. He liked the overtime. He was never completely dependable, though. If you want to check the personnel files, if anybody does, it's all there. You go along fine for a few months, then he'd take off for a week or so. Then he'd turn up again. There were women. Lately, he's gotten moody, depressed. He's picked a couple of fights. That's in the records, too. Talk to the guys. You remember the time he came over here?
Yes, I remember he asked you for $1,000. You said that you gave him only half and that it was very dangerous work.
What was the job?
Well, Boris took a skeletal crew out night fishing. One of the smaller boats, and they ran into heavy weather.
When was that?
3 or 4 weeks ago.
He came to see you, he paid him off, fed him a hot lunch, and nobody's seen him since.
I haven't seen him since.
Maybe you could tell us about the guns?
This is off the record. Understood? I've never said any of this to any person outside our own family or a few trusted friends. But a long time ago, before I was even as young as Joey here, I did a lot of things that were wrong. Some of them were illegal, some weren't. But everything that was written and said about me at that time was true. There was a lot of money involved, which meant a lot of violence, greed, and many people got hurt. I rose to a position of power and was able to keep it even when certain changes took place. Narcotics came into the picture. And with it, more money, which meant more violence. 3 times in the summer of 1964, there was an attempt made on my life. And after the last one, I went into the hospital for 6 weeks. And after I came out, I retired. I had my wife, my nephew, a restaurant, a few close friends, and a decent amount of money. So I wanted to take time out to enjoy it. But some people don't forget. They knew what I did. I knew what they did. So I'm forced to keep bodyguards.
What about Joe?
He doesn't need bodyguards. He didn't do anything that I did. He didn't know any of these men. 15 years ago, he was a child.
But you and Joe are still close.
Personally, not professionally. I don't even allow him to supply fish for this restaurant.
Well, I know the one thing that my father is concerned about is the possibility that because you are close, that someone might try to get to you through Joe or through his family.
I give you my solemn word that I will keep all that, my old problems, away from my nephew and from your sister. None of it will ever affect either one.
I don't see how you can guarantee that, Tisa.
I can guarantee it. I have given my word.
I can't have dates?
No, you can't have sex.
What are you gonna do, send chaperones out with me? Will you have detectives in every back seat, police surrounding guys' apartments? Mother, don't be crazy.
I am going to lay down rules and you are going to follow them, period.
Rules like what?
Like a curfew, like having an adult in this apartment when you entertain a boy here. Like
a
having...
babysitter.
Audrey can live in. I am going to meet the boys you date before you go out with them. You are going to leave a phone number with me where you can be reached.
Suppose you reach me in bed.
That is where trust will come in, Kim. I will trust you to hold the line, and you can trust me to pay your bills, provide room and board, and a continuing welcome here.
I won't do it.
You don't have any choice.
And I won't go back to Kansas either. I want to stay with you, but you don't own me, Mama. I can find my own ways to stay in New York. I'll get a rich man to keep me, too. Maybe I'll marry him and inherit his millions when he dies.
You go pack, Kimberly, because I am calling the airport.
Hello.
Hi, it's Ray. Are you very busy right now?
No, not at all. You don't sound so good.
I'm not. Seneca, am I crazy for thinking that Adam Cohen could be interested in Kimberly?
No, I suppose not. I mean, he mentioned that he likes her. I mentioned she was only 17. Did something happen?
No, nothing has happened yet, and I don't want anything to happen. Tell me what you think about him.
He's responsible, dedicated, bright, excellent diagnostician, and he is anything but a cradle snatcher. Listen, I really don't think you should worry.
Well, the child in this cradle may snatch him.
Well, I imagine he's got a pretty good fix on Kimberly. He handled her beautifully in the hospital, but if you like, I'll speak to him.
Oh, Seneca, would you do that? I'd be so grateful.
Yeah, sure. My thing's kind of rough today, huh?
Oh, just a little.
Would it help?
I don't know how to do this.
Would it help to tell me about it?
Well, in general, the situation is that Kimberly needs structure, but every time I try to lay down the law, she feels like I've put her under house arrest, and so do I. But I know I'm right, and I'm not going to back down, and she's not going to back down, and I just don't want to talk about it on the phone.
All right, look, I'll speak to Adam, and then I'll drop by, give you a report, and then you can give me all the gory details if you choose, huh?
I would like to see you, thank you. I need somebody to second-guess me with Kim. Maybe you'll tell me I'm being neurotic and I really should just give her free rein.
No, hardly. I'm very big on discipline. Listen, take heart. I'll see you tomorrow.
About 5 would be wonderful, thank you.
I thank you for being here. I thank you for staying and listening. I won't call your father right away. I think I should wait a few days.
I think that would be a very good idea, Mr. Novotny.
Don't leave without me, will you? I want to have a word with Tizo and Joe.
I'll get the car started.
Good night.
Thank you again.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
I want to thank you for all of this. You were really wonderful with them.
I like your family. I understand your father.
Well, I wish that he would let himself try to know you.
I give him time. I think time is on my side.
Well, thank you for the party, and thank you very much for your explanation.
There's something else I want to tell you, and I'll tell your father as soon as I get the chance. One of the reasons that I'm so happy that Joe is marrying you is that you represent a family and a life that I've always wanted to have, but couldn't. It's what I want for Joey. The best thing about giving a dinner party in your own restaurant is that you don't have to wash the dishes. But I think I ought to check in the kitchen.
Okay, bye.
Why don't you let Frank and Joe go on, and I'll drive you home.
Oh, what's the point of you driving all the way into Manhattan? You just have to come back to Brooklyn all alone.
I don't want to leave you yet.
Yeah, I sort of feel the same way, but I want to get to Daddy before he goes to bed. I'm really mad at him. I can't believe that he did this.
Look, if it's any help, I think the Ryans were more upset by all this than Tizo and I were. What?
You know, I wanted him to say that all those things weren't true, that he hadn't really done them. But even I'm not that naive. I knew that some of the stories had to be true. I'm just sorry that they are.
Well, Tizo doesn't lie. He cares about you. He won't lie to you. He pays every day in 100 ways for the things he did with the first 2/3 of his life.
I understand.
And he is retired.
Okay.
Is everything all right now?
Oh, I love you. And I know that you love me, and that's okay. That's terrific. So just let me go, and I'm gonna have it out with Daddy, and I'll call you in the morning, okay?
You call me tonight. I won't be asleep.
It should have been perfectly obvious. We should have known the first time she laid eyes on what was going to happen, but it doesn't make it any easier to take or less scary.
Don't sell it short.
Oh, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. It's the most incredibly perfect gotcha for mother-in-law. She finds herself the heir apparent to a crime lord. Does she move in with him? Does she settle in and fix up a little nest for 6 months to a year like she would if it was a legit thing? Oh, no. Siobhan the rebel has to marry him in the church, if you please, and demands the blessing of the empire down on top of it.
Okay, cool it. Not tonight, huh?
Sorry.
It's okay.
What'd you think?
Well, I think you ought to draw a deep breath, step back, and give yourself a little time.
For what?
Consider very carefully what you're doing.
What the hell are you talking about?
Decide whether you're marrying Joe because your father disapproves or you want to spend the rest of your life with him, which, based on what we saw tonight, could be a dangerous thing to do.
Oh, no. Don't do this to me.
Siobhan, I'm giving it to you straight. Now, tonight, for the first time, I had serious doubts about what you've gotten yourself into.
You were on Joe's side. You were the one who told me that he was okay in the beginning. Don't turn your back on me now. What are you trying to do?
I'm telling you what I felt in that room. Now, I was scared. I don't scare easy, so when I do, I have to pay attention. So should you. Now, Tissot could be telling the truth. Tissot could be retired. Joe could be everything we believe he is. Then again, I could be wrong.
Oh, this is a swell time to come to that conclusion. I was counting on you more than anybody, more than all of them put together. Because, don't you understand, it didn't matter to me what they thought because you were on my side.
Damn it, I'm not infallible. I make mistakes, as we both damn well know.
All right. It's enough. Both of you. Siobhan, why don't you get in the car? And Jack, when you told Mary not tonight, you were right, huh? Go on. We still have to go another 10 rounds with Doc at home.
Sorry.
A new original reality series on SoapNet. Mom and Dad are moving in for a financial intervention. It's a matter of life or debt. Bank of Mom and Dad. Moving in Wednesday at 10, only on SoapNet.